The GCC countries have approved a common network for food supply safety proposed by the State of Kuwait. The decision was taken after a virtual meeting of GCC Trade and Industry Ministries to discuss the COVID-19 outbreak's repercussions on food supply safety. The Kuwaiti Ministry of Commerce and Industry said in a statement that during the meeting, the GCC ministers discussed the impact of the globally spreading disease on Gulf economies. The Saudi Ministry of Justice said that it has joined the newly formed National Committee to Combat Human Trafficking. The committee, which is part of the Saudi Human Rights Commission, includes representatives from several state institutions. The representation of the Saudi Justice Ministry in the initiative falls in line with the role of Saudi judiciary plays in combating human trafficking. Saudi Arabia announced on Thursday 518 new coronavirus cases and 4 deaths in patients who had underlying medical conditions. The health ministry said that 59 patients have recovered, bringing the total number of recoveries in the kingdom to 990. Saudi Arabia's total number of cases of people infected with the new coronavirus has reached 6,380. As the world focuses on the coronavirus pandemic, experts fear losing ground in the long fight against other infectious diseases like AIDS, tuberculosis, and cholera that kill millions every year. This is compounded in countries with already overburdened health care systems. According to the Vaccine Alliance (Gavi), the fear of some diseases resurging is further aggravated by delays in immunization efforts for more than 13.5 million people. The International Committee of the Red Cross warned that coronavirus outbreaks across the Middle East threaten to shatter the lives of millions of already destitute people in conflict zones and could fuel socio-economic upheaval. Curfews and lockdowns imposed as public health measures to stem the spread of the virus are already making it difficult or impossible for many to provide for their families. The Geneva-based agency called for authorities in the volatile region to prepare for a potentially devastating aftermath and a socio-economic earthquake. Iran's new coronavirus death toll has risen by 92 to reach 4,869 as the total number of cases of people infected with the new coronavirus has reached 77,995. Health experts have criticized the easing of limitations, warning about the new wave of the disease. On social media, Iranians posted pictures of busy streets, packed branches of banks, and crowded buses in Tehran and other cities. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi said that Al Emiriyya incident proved that Egypt is capable of countering terrorism and preserving the safety and security of the homeland and citizens despite all the challenges. Earlier, the Interior Ministry announced it neutralized a terrorist cell in Al Emiriyya area east in Cairo, which was planning to attack Coptic Christians during Easter celebrations. The ministry raided the group's shelter and found a cache of weapons and explosives which the militants were planning to use in their terrorist attack. In just a few minutes, anyone wishing to donate blood in Saudi Arabia can receive a permit allowing them to go to the blood bank in light of the nationwide curfew imposed to stem the spread of the coronavirus. This is made possible by the Wateen application, the kingdom's exclusive blood donation platform. Specialist Mashari Al-Maliki, who is the operating director of the platform, confirmed a rise in demand among blood banks for donation. A Chinese medical team of 8 experts from the Yinchuan, the capital of the autonomous region, arrived in Riyadh with the aim of cooperating and exchanging expertise and information with the medical authorities in the kingdom. Chinese ambassador to Riyadh said that since the outbreak of COVID-19, China and Saudi Arabia have become a model of state-to-state relations and international cooperation in fighting the disease. He added that China speaks highly of the effective measures taken by the Saudi government to curb the virus's spread and safeguard public health. Dubai converted exhibition halls at its World Trade Center into a field hospital to handle a potential increase in COVID-19 cases in the United Arab Emirates. The hospital, which has a capacity of 3,000 beds, including 804 intensive care patients, is due to open its doors on Thursday. Several Gulf states have said there has been a growing number of infections among low-income foreign workers who live in overcrowded housing. According to U.S. officials, a group of 11 Iranian naval vessels made dangerous and provocative maneuvers near U.S. ships in the Gulf, in one case passing within 10 yards of a Coast Guard cutter. In a statement, the U.S. Navy's Bahrain-based Fifth Fleet said vessels from Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy repeatedly crossed the bows and sterns of several American ships at close range and high speed. The Americans issued multiple warnings via bridge-to-bridge radio, fired 5 short blasts from the ship's horns and long-range acoustic noise-make devices, but received no immediate response. Greece will move hundreds of elderly and ailing asylum seekers out of congested island camps starting next week to protect them from the coronavirus pandemic. The Migration Ministry said 2,380 vulnerable persons will be moved out of camps on Aegean Islands to apartments, hotels, and other camps on the mainland. Authorities said the operation will begin on April 19th and take about 2 weeks. Details will be announced at a later date. The International Monetary Fund is still assessing Iran's request for $5 billion in emergency financing in a process which is taking time partly because of the IMF's limited engagement with Tehran in recent times. Iran, the Middle East country worst affected by the new coronavirus outbreak, approached the IMF last month to request the $5 billion from its Rapid Financing Initiative, an emergency program that aids countries faced with sudden shocks such as natural disasters. It was Iran's first request for IMF aid since the country's 1979 Islamic Revolution. Egyptian Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli announced complete closure of public gardens and beaches next Monday, which marks Sham el-Nessim holiday. During a press conference, Madbouli said that all public transportation will be suspended during the day, including Cairo Metro and national railways. Madbouli explained that the government has been discussing these easing decisions during the past 3 days in order to maintain the current situation and not to witness any deterioration during the coming days. The death rate for the novel coronavirus COVID-19 in Egypt decreased from 7.5% to 7.3% as Egypt reported 5 deaths, the country's lowest count in April so far. The death toll since the novel virus emerged in Egypt now stands at 183 based on the latest data on Wednesday evening. According to the official data announced lately, the infection rate reached 6.1%, while the rate of coronavirus test results turning out to be negative rose to 29.9%, the highest rate since the crisis started in Egypt in mid-February. Egypt has received 4 tons of medical protective supplies from China as a measure to help the country combat the spread of the coronavirus. The supplies include 20,000 N95 respiration masks, 10,000 protective gowns, and 10,000 polymerase chain reaction PCR testing kits. Chinese ambassador to Cairo, who received the aid along with Egyptian Health Ministry officials, said the assistance is the first batch in a series of shipments planned for the next few days.